Welcome to the Arkansas Backwoods Challenge of 2023, Year 4.
That is ridiculous.
All right, this is Year 4 for Arkansas out here in Ozark, Arkansas. And we've got a new player on the field I'll introduce to you right now.
Hey guys, I'm Cleetus McFarland. I'm from Bradenton, Florida, and today I brought out my Carbon Cub SS to race here at Arkansas. Yeah, so I started flying, you know, I guess on YouTube I only have shown aviation stuff for maybe 6 months, but I started flying about 3 years ago, and I got into helicopters, and that obviously led into fixed wing, and now I'm rated commercial instrument, helicopters, commercial instrument, and airplanes, and fixed wing, multi-engine, all that good stuff, seaplane, and I just really got into it, and I wanted to make sure that I was, you know, an experienced pilot before I took it to YouTube, so that's why there's a several-year gap, and I just wanted to enjoy it without the pressure of cameras around, because obviously cameras, no matter whose they are, add a heightened sort of pressure to pilots. So it was best to fly for a few years. Now we're doing it on YouTube on our channel, Cleetus McFarland, and this will be our first ever competition, Arkansas, so pretty fired up to do it.
At Arkansas each morning, the day starts off with a mandatory safety meeting.
It's about flight safety.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and congratulations to all of you that qualified yesterday.
Everyone sitting here had to practice the course and get approval to compete in this Arkansas Backwoods Challenge.
Right there's a little pond area here. There's a little place to put down there.
From the pilot's perspective, what you're going to see out the windshield, as one of the designers of the course, he's flown the course a bunch, he's going to give you that perspective, and Robbie's going to take the floor and walk through the details of scoring and measurement and what's the goals of these kinds of things. So,
and with any serious competition, there is a medevac heli close by.
First aircraft that I ever trained in was the Cessna 172 Skyhawk, I feel like most pilots, and then the first helicopter that I purchased, I bought an R44 to learn in, and just a partial ownership deal. And then first airplane I ever purchased was a Beechcraft Baron 58, and I learned mostly in a Skyhawk, but I bought the Baron because I knew I could take it on some decently long trips, but also learn in it, get my instrument ticket in it, and do my multi-engine ticket in it. And as soon as I got those tickets, I sold it. So I have, you know, my multi-engine license and stuff, but I ended up selling the Baron, and now I just have this. I've flown a lot of stuff. I've flown Kodiak, Pilatus PC-12. I've got a couple hundred hours in those. I've got my citation rating all the way up to the Ultra, Baron, Carbon Cub, Cirrus SR-22s, Volcal BO-105 helicopter, R-44, R-66, Dauphine, A-Star, Black Hawk. I got a pretty good list going, yeah.
So you've really dove into this.
Yeah. I love it. I love exploring it, and several other experimental, you know, kind of like short takeoff planes that I probably can't even list. But yeah, I've just really been into it and tried to do it as much as I can outside of race cars.
We are partnering with great companies like Dynon Avionics at Dynon.com, Airtech Coatings at AirtechCoatings.com, Clemens Insurance at ClemensInsurance.net, South Mississippi Light Aircraft at FlySMLA.com, Foxtrot 95 Calhoun County Airport at FlyFoxtrot95.com, Edge Performance at EdgePerformance.no. Take a moment to go visit their websites at the links found below in the description of this video. And visit our website at ExperimentalAircraftChannel.com for events, our video library arranged in easy-to-find playlists on specific topics, and so much more. Cleetuss made a surprise appearance to the challenge this year, along with many other new pilots, but quickly proved himself worthy of the course and his ability to pilot his experimental Carbon Cub. In this backwoods challenge, the course is made up of 3 separate runways, each having their own unique challenge, just like in the real world of backcountry flying. Registration opens up a few months before the event each year and welcomes new experienced pilots to the challenge. So if you think you are capable of flying the course, we encourage you to sign up for next year. Now, let's ask Cleetuss why he chose to fly experimental. So what made you decide to go experimental?
Yeah, I bought the experimental because 1, I can work on it. 2, it's you know, not held to such a strict menu as the, you know, a certified aircraft. So, you know, the Carbon Cub SS is light. It's got the 180 horse engine, so it's powerful and it can do anything. It's just a really versatile aircraft. To be honest with you, I looked at a lot of STOL planes and I wanted to get a cheaper combination, and Mike Patey was like, no, you gotta get a Carbon Cub. That's kind of his style, you know. He's a big Carbon Cub guy. And then he found me this plane for a smoking deal, and that was the only reason why I was able to get such a great plane, a Carbon Cub, and it just worked out awesome. I absolutely love this thing. I got this from Chuck, a buddy of ours down in Florida. I honestly don't even remember the length and pitch on it, but you can find it in our prop video. If you type in Carbon Cub prop Cleetuss, all the details you need to know are in there. But it lets the engine rev a little higher. I get like 2,700 RPM, which is red line, it's perfect. I've got the Acme Aero Black Ops suspension and stinger, and then I did the Acme Aero titanium suspension. Acme Aero sold me this Behringer brake kit and these wheels and tires. So I've got some 32-inch tires, and that's pretty much it as far as modifications. I want to do, you know, a couple other things, but just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe some nitrous down the road, but.
So we see this a lot, where people get these airplanes, they put big tires on it, suspension. Do you think it's making you a better pilot or a lazier pilot, or just more functional, more options of landing?
Yeah, I mean, the bungee suspension that they come with factory, I guess is what you'd call it, is not bad. I mean, you can definitely work with it, but if you come in and do a hard landing to try and do a short landing, like what you have to do out here at the competition, it's very easy to bounce the plane. This definitely makes it a lot easier to stick the plane on and get on the brakes. So I mean, from a performance standpoint, you have to have them if you really want to get after it. I don't think it makes you lazier. I think it just gives you more opportunity to fly the plane more competitively. And plus, if you're really in like a backwoods strip, bouncing can cost you 200 feet. So, you know, they're safer by all means.
Speaking of backwoods, so what has been the most adventurous spot that you've been in since modifying and getting into this type of flying?
I think the most adventurous stuff that I do would be like my local river. And I just go onto the sandbars and I try to get on some short ones for sure. And there's not a lot of room for error, so having good brakes and good suspension and some hefty tires is great. And you know, I've been in instances where I've overran them, and our rivers are super shallow in Florida, luckily, but you know, the big tires, they just kind of roll right in there, and luckily I've never put myself in too crazy of a situation, but I do love landing on some little sandbars.
Okay, let's talk performance just for a second. As far as like putting the bigger tires, obviously going to slow you down a little bit, but what are you seeing for a cruise, and what do you typically climb out at and stuff like that? Yeah,
this thing cruises at in the low 90s for mile per hour, and then like climb out, you're talking about vertical speed? Oh man, I don't know, maybe if I really want to get after it, like VX, I feel like I could get over 2,000 feet a minute and hold it. Really? Probably, I don't know. I haven't really looked, but if you're like really getting after it, this thing like just doesn't seem like it'll ever stall power on full throttle. It just is crazy. He pointed at the sky. And what is the slowest you've had this so far? You know, with a good headwind in Florida, you know, just goofing around, I've gotten the ground speed to like 5 before, you know, and I don't even know if it was backwards, but it was just windy, you know, and the lowest I could get it to like really be stable was like 5 knots. But indicated airspeed, it's probably in the high 20s, low 30s is where the lowest you can go full flaps before you start buffeting.
All right, being somebody who's tasted kind of all the different aspects of aviation in your short career of this, what would you say somebody can go? Would you suggest going directly into experimental for the fun of it, or doesn't matter what path?
I think the best thing that someone could do would be to evaluate what they want, right? Do you want an airplane that you can customize? Then I would go experimental. Do you want something that it has to be a certain way to be as safe as possible? Then buy a certified aircraft. I particularly like this because I can change it and make it cooler and better and more apt to what I need. But if you want maximum, you know, safety, resale value, and just something set up exactly how it's supposed to be, then, you know, certified's the route. So it's basically just whatever you want as a pilot yourself.
All right, so Cleetuss, what other things are you involved in that you're passionate about for those out there that haven't come across you yet? What do you do?
Yeah, I typically build race cars, so you can type in Cleetuss on any social media platform and our stuff will come up and see us build any type of car you've ever imagined. We also race jet boats and now planes, so check it out. Just get ready, you'll enjoy it.
All right, now this is your first competition here at Arkansas in the Backwoods Challenge. You've had a taste of it.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, and do you think you'll go into some of the other ones like National Stoll or whatnot?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll get involved with it. You know, we're in Florida, so it's definitely a little bit harder to get to some of these with a plane that only does 90 miles an hour. But all the stuff that's close to Florida, I'm going to definitely try and participate in as much as I can. I've really enjoyed this so far. I'm ready to do some more flying today.
Well, Cleetuss, it was great to see you in person out here in the backwoods of Ozark, Arkansas. Maybe we'll meet up again one day back in our home state of Florida.